Why, hello, all you Dishin Days fans. Welcome to Dishin Days, where we serve up a full dish of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives. I'm your host, Tony Moore, and I am joined by my gaggle of gals.
Michael Mattis, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
Hey guys, Justin Hareld here.
And I'm Araceli Aviles.
All right. And of course, if you guys are tuning in live, thank you so much for watching us. And don't forget to add us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. The at is currently making out with its pillow. And of course, if you want to find us here on the YouTubes, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You're here watching us live, or if you're listening to us on a podcast, go to the YouTube channel, search Dishin Days, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification so that way you will always know when we're going live and in living color. And speaking of podcasts, make sure you follow us there too on your favorite podcast station. We can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Just search Dishin Days and take us along on that long walk, that mellow moment on the beach, that cruise down the highway, or even a short jog on a treadmill. We will be in your ear telling you who did it and why in Salem. And of course, for a full recap of all of your favorite soaps, including Bold and the Beautiful, General Hospital, and Young and the Restless, head on over to our favorite co-host and Chocolate Quinn, James Lott Jr., JLJ Media on the YouTubes, so that way you can catch up on that. Plus, check out some of his original audio dramas made specifically for you. So make sure you check that out. And those are all the church. Oh yeah, and buy our merch. Yes. Mm, mm, mm.
The modeling styles of Tony Moore, ladies and gentlemen.
You're welcome. Make sure you head on over to dishindays.threadless.com to look at these. To see these lovely logos. We got the Meliswin, which is a reminder of that wonderful, wonderful storyline, the Salem Stalker, where they all ended up on an island. If you feel like being possessed this October, go ahead and get your possessed shirt or sweatshirt. Or if you just want to celebrate the fact that you are a Dishin Days fanatic, go on over and get that Dishin Days logo or serving up a full dish. Get it in a t-shirt, a sweatshirt, a mug, a towel, many of things available to you at dishindays.threadless.com. And we're back. So now let's get started. For some reason, I was just like, what? How do I transition this out? Anyway, what did we think of this week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive Days of Our Lives?
Wasn't terribly exciting, but...
I'm sorry, what was that? It was a little bit higher than or should we use the Brady voice?
I had to break up a clothes because Kristen being mean.
This week was definitely a I call it a plant seed info week. We're going somewhere, but we're just now packing up the car to hit the road.
Yeah, I didn't mind it for the most part. Some things I was interested. I was interested in all the Wendy stuff. I thought we got some really great scenes. The stuff with Gabi and the Johnson boys and all that stuff was cool. Yes. Yeah, and a couple other things. But yeah, otherwise I agree with you. But some stuff I found really interesting this week.
Like what?
The Wendy stuff. The stuff I just named. Yeah.
That's it.
He's like, did I stutter?
No.
Araceli, what did you think?
Well, Wendy was the only female not crying this week on the show, so I was like, you go, girl.
Listen, Wendy doesn't come across as a crier to me. She looks like she makes people cry.
Yeah.
But Wendy got her own thing going on. Okay. So let's talk about all of that and break down this week. It is now time to start Dishin
Days.
Days. You little stinkers.
I followed you, Tony. I thought you and I were at least in sync.
We were.
Mhm.
It's Michael Mattis who wants to be fabulous, and I love it. What does your shirt say?
It says Bosco's.
I thought it
Oops.
said Bimby. I was like, you know what? You really love your dog.
Bimby.threadless.com.
You know what? I would like the kind folks out there to just create I Love Bimby merchandise for Michael Mattis.
Go on my Instagram. You have plenty of photos to work with. Actually, no, they're all on my story. I don't know if there's any on my grid, but
I want
do what you will, people.
I want to get a shirt that's like I'm with him, but it points like down and like over to where Bimby would usually be, so that way,
like right there.
Yeah, I'm with him. And then little Bimby has a shirt that says I'm with him, but his arrow's like pointing up.
He's sleeping right now.
Oh, well, we have to be quiet for Bimby. All right. Mel NYC reviews is coming in hot already. Hello, panel. Are we getting the View version of Dishin Days today? You will today and every day, because it's always better with a View.
What is a View version of Day? What does that mean?
Like the shiny.
Like the View.
Oh, last week we got
Yeah.
a View.
Yeah.
Last week, you know, we had some discussiones and people
The biggest debate wasn't even about the.
I know.
It wasn't even about the threesome. We still stuck on Alex and Stephanie.
No, we were all in agreement on the threesome, which I thought was nice. You know,
Yeah.
everybody else can lose their mind over that. I'm like,
some threesome.
You go lose your mind, do the stress. I've got chai tea going, so I'm very relaxed today.
Oh.
Chai tea mixed in with something else on it. That's why she's so relaxed. Let's start off with the first storyline with the folks who are almost about to kick the bucket, but they don't.
The Ladies of Death. So they all got the serum.
I was waiting for it.
Huh?
The only one that said they all got the serum. Another serum.
What they get, Michael Mattis?
A serum.
They got the serum.
They got the serum.
They got the serum.
After John almost, lost his mind for the 10th time this year.
Okay.
Still have an issue with it, but we'll table that.
But this is what I don't understand. Hello?
Oh.
Damn.
So you got to take a phone call?
No, I got my landline fixed.
Oh.
I'm in a doctor's office, Araceli.
Okay. Araceli is on the job. Hello, Araceli.
I got my landline fixed.
Oh, okay. Well, it's working.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what I didn't understand, right? Like how? Okay.
Okay.
I still don't understand how they decided who was going to get the serum first, right? Because I'm looking at the three of them. The one who is like literally like death is like staring at her in the face is Kayla, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then it would be Marlena. And then Kate is just kind of like, like
Kate's just having a snow day, she's just in bed, like not really, she's telling her kids, no, don't bother coming.
And so I'm just like, so then how was it that Marlena got the dose first?
She volunteered, remember, because they were worried about testing it. And then she was like, basically, I'll be the guinea pig.
Because it's untested.
Yeah. You missed that part. Tony's like, what part was that? What episode was that?
I remember that, but I was still just kind of like, again, like, I'm sure they all would volunteer.
It didn't matter when it came down to it. There was no other choice. You die or you take the drug.
I know.
That's
it was like, how is this going to make it worse?
Yeah.
Because I feel like I would have gave it to Kayla first, since she had the worst. Like, she was going through it the worst. So like, if it worked well on her, then surely it was going to work well on everybody else. Did they give it to Marlena because she was in between? Like, she wasn't quite knocking on death's door, but she wasn't as well. So they were just like.
I feel like previously it was Marlena that was the worst one. I feel like this week only it was Kayla took a turn for the worst, but up until then, I feel like they were portraying it as Marlena was worse. Because remember, Kayla was still up and working while Marlena was in the hospital, so I felt like they were going along that trajectory of Marlena worse than Kayla then Kate. But it seemed like this week they kind of sort of switched it. But yeah. Also, did you catch the shade that Kate threw when she was like, she goes, not that I'm complaining, but who decided Marlena? Yeah, she was like, who decided Marlena gets it first? And then
Kate was only saying what we all were thinking.
Yeah.
We all were sitting on the screen like,
yeah.
Now hold up. Who decided that Marlena is going to get this dose first? I mean, I'm not complaining.
Right.
But I'm just saying.
But at least she basically volunteered to be the guinea pig, essentially.
Yeah. But at least we know that it works. I mean, it was touch and go for a second because Marlena was like, "Ooh, my heart." I said, "Oh, girl," and then it was like, "Okay, I'm fine." I was like, "Oh,
yeah,
okay,
oh."
Now they did Kayla wrong because Kayla was literally like, she said, "Mom." I was like,
cut the scene. They cut it.
I know they must not have. It must have been.
I don't know.
Or do you think that's a different?
And that's my question, because that was a pretty big scene to drop in that trailer. Mm-hmm. That I'm kind of like, I don't think that they would just cut that, especially if we're under the assumption that we're supposed to be seeing someone else there. So I'm not sure that. Yeah, I'm not sure.
Well, let's just say this. The fall preview was interesting, but I think it's deceptive. And here's why. We thought that when Kayla said, "Mommy, that she was going to go to heaven and we was going to see that then. But no. And then when they showed Jennifer, Ava, and it was someone else in a car.
Susan.
Was it Susan?
Oh, yeah, Susan. So that hasn't happened yet. Yeah,
okay.
That hasn't happened.
There must be another car accident coming.
Right.
Yeah.
But I'm saying Jennifer in the car already happened. We thought those three was going to be in the thing, and then somebody's supposed to go over a cliff and like boom, boom, boom.
Yeah, no,
I think like 80s stock footage of a car. Yeah.
Right. And so that hasn't happened yet. So it leads me to believe that all the conclusions that we came up with that we thought were going to happen based on the fall preview, something else is about to go down and it's going to shock us all. I don't know what it is.
It seems like we've only seen maybe half of what was in the fall preview and we still got a ways to go.
Right. So I'm actually kudos to Days for giving us that fall preview and making us think one thing and they're about to take us on another. Now listen, if this happens,
editing.
No, they wouldn't. I don't think.
I don't think they're going to see.
What do they call it? A hologram? A hologram Caroline Brady?
Or maybe
performing at the Salem Art Center.
Or maybe they'll do what they did with Lexi.
Yeah.
They'll have a stand-in.
Older woman from the back, yeah.
Uh-huh. And just maybe have someone that would we be okay with that?
I'd be okay. Like if they did like Lexi with a person like she didn't really talk, right? Or did she say something?
No, she didn't.
She talked a little bit, yeah.
Yeah. Well, here, but I still. So here's my argument. It looked like they built a whole new set, or they reused the set from Beyond Salem for that thing. So if you're going to make use of that set, if you're not going to get rid of it, then to me, I just feel like something else is brewing. I feel like Kayla's going to have another brush with death.
Oh, okay.
And something else.
She's going to have another brush with death, like maybe like a side effect of. Like it, or we're gonna, it's gonna be a side effect of the serum.
Good point.
Or she had like an out of body experience that is gonna affect her going forward, and then that's gonna be her storyline. And then like the scene we saw in the promo is maybe like a flashback to that experience, and we just haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
Got it. So all that to say, sorry, my Mama Moore has found her way on, and she's already texting like, "Hey guys, Marlena volunteered to go first." I'm like, "Thanks, Mom." So anyway, all that to say, the fall preview was a preview of what might or could happen, and so we all have to stay tuned. But yay, they found the serum and everything like that. But the serum costs, and what it costs was the relationship between Chloe and Brady. I
It was just so like that whole situation. Like she was like, Kristen was trying to convince me to break up with you, and Brady's like, ha, 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 funny story, sit down.
Right.
I was just like, damn. I was like, that is cold.
What? Okay, I know that we talked about this last week, and as it keeps going on, how do we feel about this plan of Kristen's?
I agree with Debbie.
What's she saying?
She said
And
everyone is stupid. Kristen gloats and everyone's stupid.
Yeah, it's too
Yeah,
cartoonish.
I'm like,
it's a
the
good
serum
episode
just
summary.
magically appeared, and Kristen just magically appeared. I'm like,
yeah, it's a little.
No one's gonna put this
cartoonish.
together. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
like
think-
the fact that she showed up the same day, or like there isn't like a breathing period, or there isn't like she could orchestrate something to make it.
And
more
she's
believable.
gloating, you know?
Yeah.
she said you're welcome. Like nobody
Right,
nobody
yeah.
bothered to say you're welcome for what?
Yeah.
Here's the thing. I think this is one of those situations where I kind of wish, like, it wasn't like people weren't so naive. Like, I almost wish that, like, Chloe had the moment of like, none of this makes sense. Da 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 da. But then when she walked out and saw Kristen, I almost wanted her to say, "You bitch," and then it cuts, right? And then on Monday we pick up with, "Oh, so is this why you broke up with me, Brady? Oh, let me guess. Kristen has the orchid. Kristen suddenly came up with the serum. Kristen so desperately wants you, so told you that the only way that you can get the serum is if you break up with me and start a new life with her. Well, tough shit, Kristen. This ain't happening." Like I would rather see that scene than it be like, "So you do love her?"
I also don't understand why he didn't just tell her and they made up their own plan. Like, I know, like, Kristen told him not to, but still, it's like, if this was the alternative, like, you tell her and you figure it out.
Yeah, I mean,
because obviously John's onto him. Obviously, I mean, it's so ridiculous.
Everybody is. Everyone's like, "This is stupid." Like, you were so in love with and I think the thing that is frustrating is that Kristen is digging her own grave, and it's like, it's kind of like, you can't have Brady. I said last week how she could have like kind of woo him over, right? But in the meantime, be the tortoise instead of the hare.
Yeah.
And like take, partial custody of Rachel and co-parent and just get your life together instead of plotting and scheming, trying to build this fictional family where everybody is miserable except you. And you about to be, because he's not going to fall in love with you. You are ruining his life. You're ruining Rachel's life.
And you're going to get caught. Like,
yeah,
everyone's going to fucking find out. And, it's not going to... Well, I guess I shouldn't say that. I was going to say it won't take them long, but...
It might. Araceli and Justin, where do you...
No one recognized Ava. All she was wearing was a scarf. So...
Not suspicious at all. Not suspicious at all.
I mean, this is all just so obvious and so drawn out. And a part of me feels sorry for Brady, obviously, but I've never felt that Chloe was his soulmate. I don't feel that Kristen is his soulmate. So I'm going to check out of this one at this point.
Wow.
Honestly, Brady just needs to be with Brady.
Yes.
That may not make for exciting storyline, but Brady just needs.
No, I'm sorry.
To be Brady
or Brady needs to.
And...
You know what? Actually, storyline would interest me. Brady taking little Kristen 2.0 that he is currently raising to therapy. That would actually interest me.
Marlena's not the therapist.
But the therapist of Salem is Marlena.
Yeah, I don't care
who. Hire another therapist.
I don't care.
She can't therapy everybody.
now I've actually changed my mind, and I don't think Kristen put the note in the kid's lunchbox.
She did it.
I think she did it.
Who?
You think Rachel did it herself?
I think Rachel did it.
Oh,
Rachel is
yeah. Rachel did it at her friend's house and said, "Type up this letter for me and print it out."
I think she turned into. I think she's shown that she's a brat. She's turning it. I think she's turning into Kristen 2.0, and everybody is so like, oh, let's protect the child, that nobody's realizing you need to protect the child from herself.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Brady should have played this a little differently. I mean, he should have told Chloe, and they should have kept it a secret and tried to figure it out, or tried to figure a way out of this. I still think, to your point, Tony, I think Chloe will start to suspect it now that we've seen how fast Kristen moved in. Because I think up until that point, there was, like we said, we had that thing where she kind of broached the subject of like, maybe we shouldn't be together, and he turned her down. So I think in that sense, maybe she was like, oh, maybe he changed his mind, or maybe he thought better of it, whatever. But I think seeing Kristen might be a game changer for her.
And I love that now they need a booster. And when Roman, it was one shot and done.
Oh yeah,
it's evolved in the past 25 years.
They could have easily wrote it in that like, oh, Roman was like, oh well, yeah, I also needed a booster back then, and just wrote it in now, even though we didn't see it happen. But yeah, good point. I guess
or honestly, tell Rex better yet. Have him working on something on the side, or you know what I mean, like. Yeah, like use your brain here to like try and battle this as opposed to just giving in to Kristen.
I'm glad they make Rex look good during this.
I know they didn't make him look like a schmuck this time. He actually did.
I was trying to say it very, very more. Thank you, Nancy Pelosi.
But as someone, it wasn't as someone pointed out, even a broken clock is right twice a day.
I feel like he's the only male character who like gets to have a personality, even though he hasn't always been the best in the past. At least he has a personality. Yeah. Compared to some of the others.
All right. Well, that's that storyline. We'll see how that all develops. Let's move on to.
One thing.
Oh yes.
The Kate and Chad stuff.
Yeah.
Oh.
It was nice, but none of their like they haven't been always been consistently on the best of terms, and nothing was ever like, I don't know. I just feel like I would expect Kate to like at least one more apology, but there was like, did they just agree to sweep that stuff under the rug at some point that I missed?
I think so. At this point, I think this. Yeah, I think that at this point their relationship has just gone through so much. I can understand like when like how she profusely apologized back when she was in cahoots with Gabi against Abigail, but that was years ago at this point. And I just feel like Chad's been in his own state of grief. Kate's been in her own kind of just trying to figure herself out, and I think that they're just I don't know.
And she took responsibility for her part for the Lucas thing. So
and she made sure that he didn't have to pay for anything legally.
Yeah.
And
they had that talk when Abigail died, and she went over to the place, and he was in one of his.
Yeah, and it just kind of seems like I don't think it has any reflection on his relationship with Kate. I think it's just Chad has been in his own bubble. His grief bubble for a while, and he's finally emerging, and he's finally taking notice of I really for first steps first I need to start paying attention to the relationships that I do have, and Kate is one of the more important.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
That was just their way of just getting back on track.
Okay.
And very like, I miss you, Mom. I miss you too.
Yeah, and
that's not his mom, but.
I forget, but he did mention that we had a scene last week when he was talking with Stephanie where he brought up Kate and saying that when his mom died, she stepped up, and that's when they got close and stuff. So I think it was sort of laying the work of them getting back to that. Like,
she's the closest thing he has to a parent.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to DiMera Enterprises and that mess.
And the two punches heard around the world.
Lord. Where to
Do we-
start?
I know. Where do we start with it? Where do we start
I'm
with
like,
this?
I'm not sure how much we care about DiMera Enterprises at this point.
Here's the thing. So watching EJ and seeing his demeanor, like seeing him drop Gabby's name in the trash and like how he was like bad mouthing her and all this kind of stuff, it really made me realize it's not what's best for the company. It's such a power trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
such an
it's all
ego
power
thing.
play. All an EJ power play.
He called it his empire.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and it's just kind of like I kind of looked at him like, so to stroke your ego and to make you feel like I understood the whole thing of like the DiMera legacy and having, you know, a true DiMera like CEO, but y'all a mess. And so, you know, Gabby came in and was really business oriented and really more so about the company. Yes, she liked being in control, but she liked it because she was good at running a company.
Yeah.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And
Like-
same with Wendy. It's why Wendy has such admiration for Gabi, is that she is, I'll say it again, a self-made woman. I'm not going to make any excuses for any of the terrible decisions that Gabi has made in her personal life. But professionally, she is a self-made woman.
Mhm.
She made her own company. Yes, she inherited the shares, but when she did that, she brought the company into some stability. And that is why Wendy wanted to work for her. And yes, she's a woman of color. That was a plus for Wendy. Of like, I'm constantly trying to get into the boys' club and being knocked down, even though my qualifications constantly override theirs.
Yeah. And it's like she can't get there because she's a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
But and then
It would be interesting if that's the direction this storyline is going. EJ and the boys have seemingly taken over, but then Wendy and Gabi, a la Sammy and Kate, kind of make a coup, form a coup.
Well, God, I would love that, because the boys in this, every boy in this scenario is just freaking useless. That whole conversation.
Stefan, I can give a pass because I feel like Stefan's really still like. Stefan gives off this aura like he's still trying to figure shit out.
Yeah.
But that
he's just kind of following the leader.
I can understand him like still being really confused as to why, you know, he feels such strong hate towards Gabi, but I don't know why. Stefan always had really good business instincts that he doesn't see how just patronizing the EJ is being now towards him is just stupid. I really couldn't watch that scene where EJ caught Johnny in his office. I really couldn't. It was so difficult to watch.
But you know what though, for me, it was kind of like when he pointed out, oh, you get that from your mother, but you get this from me. I was like, oh, this is interesting. I never thought about this. And I was like, ooh, who's playing who? Who's able to play the role better than who? Daddy versus son. Like, how is this gonna? And when EJ was like called to like bump up security, first of all, I was like, Johnny, you stupid. Like, first of all, like
not very stealthy.
Not stealthy at all. So you didn't get stealthiness from neither parent. And how are you with DiMera not being able to be stealthy? I don't know.
DiMera and Sammy Brady's son.
Yeah.
And be so sloppy with your, oh, what are you working on? Oh, I need your password.
I know, right? No,
wink, wink.
I actually was wondering, like, did they get the paternity test wrong all those years ago?
Is Johnny really Lucas?
Yeah, like I'm just like, this is just stupid.
I felt like though in that moment, it felt like a 90s sitcom where he was like, "What are you working on? Oh, what's your password?" I felt like EJ should have responded with dun 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 dun.
I will say, I will say EJ's being completely obnoxious and a big a-hole this week, but Dan Furigal and his like little facial expressions crack me up. He said something when he was bad-mouthing Gabi, and he said something. He's like, "Oh, should I ask it?" He's like, "Well, I just don't think it's appropriate for you to be bad-mouthing Gabi in front of Lee." And he was like, "So should I ask him to leave?" Or
behind his back.
Yeah. So I should do it behind his back. And he was like, I don't know. It was there was some comic relief in that.
We all want to punch EJ in the face, but we all agree that Dan Furigel just does a fantastic job of making us want to punch him in the face.
He's living. Even his reaction to that punch was spot on. Love it.
Well, how did y'all feel about the punch? Was it necessary?
I thought Lee's reaction was right.
That scene, that
really
frame.
Yeah,
I know, because he was just like,
he didn't even like hesitate at all. He was just kind of like, "Good boy."
But you could tell it was a smile, and he was like, it was like Remington himself was trying so hard not to crack up.
It was a shit ass grin, as my grandmother would say.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But Trip got back in town and was almost like,
he's like, all right, my stepmom's good. My mom's good. Now I'm gonna. Or wait, he didn't know Ava was good at that point, but yeah.
No, he was avenging his mom.
Well, speaking of his mom, inconspicuous Ava walks up into Gwen's room, basically asking for help, and Gwen was like, "No."
Good for her.
Yeah, I like that. I was worried there because I was like, we see where she's going down this path now, and then Ava comes, and I was like, oh God, is this? But I actually
appreciate that Ava let Gwen off the hook when she heard her reasoning, because
and didn't try to like blackmail her or any of that.
Yeah, because she started in on her like, oh, don't tell me you're gonna try to, it's because of this, Xander dude, and she's like, no, this is because of my dad. And then I think Ava kind of realized in her, I value my relationship with my son. I can see why Gwen wants to value her relationship with her dad. I'm just gonna let this go. I don't need her for this.
Or I was even thinking like, oh, you have a good dad. I didn't. Like mine was the opposite of yours. Like, okay, I see why you would do this.
It hits a certain nerve with Ava where she's like, nah, I'm not gonna go there. I don't need you. But Gwen was also like, but I wish you luck.
Yeah.
And what do you think she's gonna do with Xander now that she overheard that he's in debt?
Money talks.
Well, what does she need help with?
Yeah, is it like?
Was I lost in that?
No, I don't think we know either.
I think what it is she needs to like lay low, but she needs someone to do work for her. She needs someone to like, you know what I mean? Like she can't be out and in people's face or whatever, or
so she
can't let anyone know she's back. So she's going to use EJ or Xander as like her proxy.
She's trying to stay in Salem, but like be on the low.
Proxy, spy, henchman, what have you? Who knows what the plan is going to be? She doesn't
have money either. That was the thing, though. She doesn't have any money either. So I don't know if the plan was reaching.
Gave up is a very loose kind of term. I think it's more like she chose not to touch that money, but she can still have access to it if she wants.
Oh, maybe, yeah.
I'm just confused. I'm gonna be honest. I'm confused. Either leave Salem or go in a bunker.
Oh no, I'm with Ava on this. The way that, because EJ has been on a streak of just calling women trash lately, and I don't like that. So yeah, I'm totally with Ava on this one. I think I'm just ride or die with Ava no matter what at this point. And
Well,
see, I love Ava, but I don't in this situation. EJ really isn't wrong. I mean, she tried to scam.
He's not wrong about what he did. It's how he did it. It's always it was the same thing with Rafe. It's not what he did. Well, it was kind of what he did afterwards, but it was how he did it.
I think it's more so Ava didn't, I don't think, had an ill intent when it came to pretending that she was married to Jake and having the shares. Like that wasn't her reasoning. She went along with the plan with Gabi Only because I feel like she wanted to. She knew that Jake would have wanted Gabi to remain as CEO, right? And
Yeah.
not EJ become powerful. So I think with that, she was more so wanting to just honor what she thought Jake would want. So went along with this plan, which I think that's why she was so quick to just kind of um to tell Johnny the truth, not only out of care for Jake, but also care for Johnny. And to just kind of be like, this was the plan. It was really just to prevent you from being in power. Like, it's not what you're painting this out to be. I think EJ's response was a bit harsh and too much.
I mean,
You
she was
tried to
scamming them.
kill
I mean,
our
she was,
legacy. You are banished from Salem.
Yeah, it's like the
forever.
idea that he's gonna banish her from town. That it's just
I don't know, guys. She was in it because of the money. Also, she was also
but what?
broke.
But
She
no,
needed
but
money.
realistically
Like,
speaking, like I
don't
didn't
think she was-
see what money did she spend. Like, it's not like she was going around ordering extravagant dinners and ordering people around. It's kind of like I'm thinking about, like, think back on like her time there and like, what money did she actually spend? What power did she actually exert?
I just don't think it was all for magnanimous things of like, oh well, keep.
No, she wanted to stick it to EJ, but because of the way that he treated Jake, because he treated Jake like he was scum, like he was too good for him.
I don't know if it involved that much of Jake. I thought it was, hey, you're broke. We could do this scheme together.
I think it was a combination. Yeah, no, it was a combination of all of that. But the way that EJ is going around and just, no, everybody wants to put him in their place. Ava has the willpower to do so. Johnny, I just think those paternity tests were wrong at this point because I'm like, sorry,
Sloppy.
that was just sloppy.
I don't like the way AJ's behaving, but I mean, the trade-off was I report you for fraud and you go to jail or you leave town. Not exactly the worst thing you could say to someone. Like, I don't know. I just don't think it's as...
Not what he did. It's how he did it.
Yeah, but also the flip side of that is saying Ava's excuse to scamming someone, which is against the law, to like she did it for altruist reasons, still doesn't.
Who reasons?
Altruistic.
Altruistic.
Like do-gooder, like for the greater good.
Say, I did this for the good of Jake, as opposed to...
No, it wasn't for any... No, she didn't say it was for any greater good. She was honest with what happened and why it happened. And it's just... Look, just don't call women trash. They get really, really pissed off and start thinking of very, very bad things a la Taylor Swift's new Vigilante shit song.
Wow.
I'm just saying, don't piss us off.
Okay. Well, on that note, we're going to move on to Eric, Nicole, Jada, and Rafe.
Oh, the other bit was that Lee is trying to get rid of Dr.
Oh, that's
I almost
right.
said Dr. I almost said Dr. Shim, which is Bimby's vet's name.
No.
Dr. Rolf.
Dr. Rolf.
Poor Dr. Shim getting banished by Lee Shin.
You're
that's why.
What?
Lee Shin, yeah.
That's why what?
Okay. Didn't even make the connection of why I mixed the names up. My Bimby's vet is named Dr. Shim.
Like, what are you talking about?
Bimby's vet is named Dr. Shim.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about Lee Shin. So when I was trying to say Lee was banishing Dr. Rolf, I said Lee was banishing almost said Dr. Shim.
Because
and I was like, why did I think about... And I was like, why did I think... Yeah.
You know that feeling in fall where it's like a really nice day and so you don't have work and you sleep in and then you sleep in too much and then you get a show like the one we're having today. Yeah.
I slept so good last night. and the night before. My brain has been turned off the entire weekend.
Apologies, everyone. Our brains are only half here right now.
I only half apologize because I'm busy during the week, so I deserve a little off time. Anyway, turning it back on. Anyway, Dr. Rolf is leaving and going to Jakarta.
It's leaving love.
It's 10,000 miles away.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Into a facility that is brand new, state of the art, all the things that he needs. He just
Love
got to
that for
go.
him.
You know what else I thought? Why is it that when police like raid things, that they don't raid it nicely? You know what I mean?
I know, they just
Like,
leave it all.
yeah, like why does it have to be like if you have this like stack of papers, right? Like why can't it just be like, oh, I'm just looking through. Why does it have to be like,
Yeah.
I feel like that's realistic though. When police go and raid a house, they don't clean up after themselves. They leave
They're
it.
not secretaries.
Yeah, that's not like in their minds. It's not their job to clean up after themselves. They're looking for evidence of a crime, usually a serious crime, if they're going as far as to raiding a house, and it's not their job to clean it up. So
well, it's not about cleaning it up, but like you can just like
Yeah. No.
you know what I mean? Like you don't have to toss it around like it's confetti. Before we wrap up this storyline, we do have to address the divorce.
True. Oh yeah, and the divorce.
Why is Gabi just look at Lee and say, honey, listen, the love of my life is alive. And as much as I love you, and as much as baby you give good love, I need a moment to just kind of sort things out. Because these like behind closed doors, look at me, Stefan, look at me. Remember us. Are you sure? Are you sure you want to be divorced? Like, I feel like I would have been like, sign the paper. Bye. Go on with your little nasty memories. Bye.
It's
You
just
know what I mean?
awkward. It's just awkward and whatnot because Gabi is making it clear that she's like, if Stefan were to say, yes, I still want to be together, they'd be together and Lee would be out the door.
100%.
And it's just awkward to have those moments with Lee like right there and Lee just like.
That's
Just
what
being
happens. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when you have low self-esteem.
Is that everyone in Salem?
Nah,
Leishan. Leishan has. Are you talking about
and
Lee?
no,
Leishan?
and Gabi. Gabi has been just so let down in the romance department at this point that she's just like, look, if I can't
Well,
have
Gabi's
Stefan,
had,
I'm gonna...
you know, even before this year, Gabi's been through it with going to jail and then beaten to the point where she can't have children and all
and
of her history.
Yeah, and it's just it's ironic that Gabi will fight to the death for business, but when it comes to her personal life, it kind of seems like the fight's kind of gone out of her.
Well, I mean, listen, before Stefan popped up out the dead, she was fine. She had a great job. She was CEO. She had fine Li Shin, tall, strapping man, always ready, willing, and able. Like, you know,
tall, strong man.
Yeah, like life was fine. And then all of a sudden, Stefan pops up like, how you doing? I don't remember you. I love Chloe. It's like, what? You know? And so
Bitch,
it's
what?
kind of it's kind of rocking her world a little bit. But again, I don't know. I wish it was just one of those things where it's just like, listen, you've been dead for 4 years. I moved on. You want Chloe? Go have her. And maybe it's something. Not me rewriting Days again, but maybe it's something where like they have their own separate fights. You know, that it's not so together. Where, you know, we're seeing Gabi being so desperate for Stefan to remember, but maybe they're just like, good, fine, live your life, bye, and then they just go. But then, like, it's just haunting them, like their relationship and what they've gone through and everything like that. But everything has happened separately. And then maybe once things happen separately, we do kind of see moments where they're together and we see that connection that they have, and their memories and love for each other is getting stronger and stronger. And it's building that way rather than always seeing someone being like, remember, 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 remember. Do you remember? Like, no one wants to see that anymore.
Do you
Channeling
remember
Mufasa. Remember who you
when
are.
love we were young and innocent then?
Go ahead.
Do you remember? I bet you remember.
No,
I bet
go
you
ahead.
remember. In the back of my mind.
But I'm just setting. Oh, Cherie, you think this hoodie is cute and it's a nice blue? You can purchase it. You can.
No, we do
it.
not sell She by Sheree, but
Oh,
you know.
we sure don't. Fall September.
Exactly. I was just gonna say that.
Fall September. September fall.
Summer spring. Yeah.
Anyway, so it's I don't know. I just and we see that Stefan is starting to remember something. He's starting to feel something. I'm glad that he went over to Kristen and was just like, "What'd you do to my brain?"
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he had a great smart moment because he was like, "May not be about Gabi,
Mhm.
but about Chloe."
Yeah.
And I was
Mhm.
like, for somebody who's been dead for 4 years, you're more on it than the people who've been alive this whole time.
This is a pattern. People come into Salem or re-enter Salem and have their brains together. Like Jada. Jada's figuring shit out like left and right. It takes time for them to develop their stupidity. It'll happen. But when they come in fresh, you're seeing all kinds of stuff.
Oh, man.
Big to your brain.
It'll hit Stefan and it'll hit Jada eventually. Hasn't hit Jada yet. Jada's still, straight shooter, but
Yeah.
Oh God. Funny.
Sherry, not Sheree. Okay.
Not she by Sheree. All right. That's it, right? With
Yeah.
that, we can finally
Yeah.
move on to
Yes.
speaking of Jada, Eric, Nicole, Jada, Rafe.
Good for Rafe.
Yeah, Rafe is not
Rafe. wrong.
No. Yeah. But then he got stupid again because he went back.
I didn't want you to fire him. Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, you did.
And the fact that, and I'm sorry, but the fact that she did fire him so quickly should be like, hello.
Red
Yeah,
flags. Red flags.
hello, your marriage is in trouble. Hello.
Yeah.
Hello, your marriage
can't be
has
in the same
been in
room with
trouble
him.
since
Everything
day one
else.
because you
Yeah.
started having feelings. Like Rafe called it out. Oh, you wanted to rush because
Rush
you wanted
into
the
it.
reason.
That's
Yeah,
stupid
he did
again.
call it. Yeah.
Like, listen, there were some great moments of being like, I'm smart. And then it's just kind of like, y'all admit your feelings. Like, you went over there, you didn't want to give Eric no job. You wanted to tell him you had a sex dream about it, and that could have been a text. Email.
Yeah, right.
I don't know. I feel like Jada is the only one that makes sense and has understanding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she's just kind of like, what is going on?
Yeah. Somebody actually posted this week, I can't remember where, why did Jada feel the need to tell Rafe that she had overheard his conversation? Because I'll say it again, she's a grown-ass woman. She doesn't deal in lies and bullshit. She has no
what do you call
interest.
it? Passive aggressiveness? No, she has no interest in any of that. No.
She has no interest in being like timid or anything like that. She's just like straight up say, hey, I overheard this conversation. I'm really sorry. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but just thought I'd let you know this is what happened. Sorry.
Yeah. You know why? Because with Jada, 2 + 2 = 4. 5 + 5 = 10. 6 + 6 = 12. Like, it makes sense. The math is mathing. She's like, I'm standing here looking at my man, my fine man, with his goatee that's, whitened a little bit and getting the little salt and pepper, like daddy kind of tees and stuff, just looking all good and stuff in his blue shirt and stuff, all fitted and all that kind of stuff.
Come back, Tony. Come back.
Looking at, Eric and watching him be devastated that he got this random email from Nicole about being fired. And he's like, not sure where it comes from or what, like what's happening, what's going on. And that's why she was like, okay, listen, here's the tea. Because I was around the corner when it went down, and I think this is why it went down. And then like she should have spilled the beans. Like what what is she gonna do? Like stand there and he's like, I don't know what happened, and then she goes, and then it does the flashback of her listening. I'm not sure either, Eric.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh, can I point out this though? Since when do you go to the Brady pub and it's now a dead end? Did y'all notice that?
Wait,
like
Because
the back
they
of
were
it? Like
they
the
were
like
they
the
were sitting. So when you where Jada was standing,
uh-huh.
people usually come to the Brady pub that way, right? And they go
Yeah.
in, and then if they come out, they can still go. If you're coming out of the Brady pub, if you go right, you can exit right. We don't know what's there or where they're heading towards, but you can always head right. This week they put the bench there, and I was like, well, since when has that been a dead end? What reconstruction is?
The bench used to be on that wall,
But it was
across from the Brady
over there.
pub. But
It
yeah,
was
they
over
did
there
move
too.
it.
That bench was there too. But then they put this new bench, and I'm like,
They
so
did? Oh, I didn't even know.
see y'all.
That was an astute observation.
Yeah.
Listen, but I was like, what kind of construction done happened around that area to where they like blocked it off?
Yeah.
Price
No,
down.
I was gonna say, Jay.
but no one else noticed that. Was it just me?
I didn't notice. No.
I you know what? I noticed it, but it didn't register because I noticed like the weird camera when they sat down. I thought the angle was off, and it just looked weird to me. But I didn't put it together about why. But you're right. It's because the bench wasn't where the bench usually benches.
No. So they probably just put it in the wrong spot, maybe, and that's not the camera angle.
And they didn't have time to reshoot it. They were like, good enough.
Touche, Michael Mattis. Touche. I don't know. I think it's a little frustrating to see this foursome happening, where they're trying to rekindle Eric and Nicole, when I feel like, how do you come back from being a loving couple and getting through all the previous stuff and getting married, and then right after getting married, deciding to go to Africa for an unbeknownst time, leaving your wife to wonder, when are you coming back? It's been a year now since we've been married and you're still not back. And she's like, you know what? I got needs. I'm drunk. Xander's drunk. She makes a mistake.
He asked me to fuck.
He comes back, finds out about it in the most Sammy Brady way, and yells and screams and like, this is over, leaves again. She is devastated because she has lost the love of her life. She decides to move on, and then you pop back in town, and now both of y'all are like come on.
Yeah.
Like, that should have been figured out as a couple. That, and again, we know behind the scenes stuff, things were moving and shaking, and maybe they didn't realize they were going to end up here. But now the fans are like, ooh, Eric and Nicole. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
Eric and Jada. Stay with Rafe, Nicole. Like, that's where we are right now.
Yeah. Too much course correction. Like, just keep going up this path. Like, write interesting stories for these couples.
Yeah.
And
Oh, wait. What did Christian say? Whoa, back up, Tony. Eric did not yell and scream, this is over. Yes, he did scream, but Nicole was the one who broke things off. Is that true?
I thought Eric did. No,
Eric definitely broke things off once he found out about the affair.
Yeah, he did.
So I think you wrong, Christian. Somebody back me up.
I think it no.
There's been so much. I don't know. I don't remember.
Nicole
I thought Eric ended it.
I want to go back into my memory and remember this, but I don't care.
Well, that settles that.
Sorry, I just don't.
I,
Oh gosh.
as of right now, and maybe I'll eat crow later for saying this, on Sunday, October 23rd at 3:59 Pacific Standard Time, that I am team Jada and Eric, and Rafe and Nicole. Y'all figure it out.
I just feel like they should have developed Eric and Jada a little more thoroughly before going down
Snoopy
this.
Nicole came in.
Just before, and maybe even Nicole and Rafe, like making their relationship solid before Eric and Nicole feelings started coming up again. Because, it's like, we didn't really have time to, well, I don't know. It's just, I'm
with you, Dylan Matthews. I'm team Ilia Cantu. I have a feeling, though, one of our Dishin Days fans is going to meet Ilia and is going to say, Ilia Cantu.
Of course.
Yeah. All right. Well, those were your top 3 storylines of Days of Our Lives this week. Before we move on to our tidbits, just want to remind you guys to follow us on all social media platforms. Also, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, make sure you find us on your favorite podcast station. And, of course, buy the merch. And now on to tidbits. Wendy, Joey, and Trip. Okay, let me ask y'all this. I think we said this during Beyond Salem, but it was so beyond ago that I forgot. For Wendy, well, now there's 3 options. Not Wendy coming in town and getting all the boys.
I know. Listen, she's the only one not related to any of them. So
this is true.
You know what I would like for someone to do right now is do like a clip of this and have Wendy's Victoria, I think is her name, her face, and now insert Milkshake by Khalees. Because apparently Wendy's milkshake brings all the boys to the yard. There we go. And not only, in Beyond Salem, it was between Joey and Trip. Now we got Johnny in the mix because she's looking at Johnny like, hey. So, Team Dishin Days, for Wendy, who do you think would be a better match? Are you Team Johnny, Team Joey, or Team Trip?
I'm Team Trip because I think she has the best chemistry with him. It seems like she actually likes him better than Joey. I know like she flirts with them both, but I feel like the connection is more with Trip. And Johnny, I don't know about those two together. I think they have a little bit of chemistry, but it's not. I don't know with them two. I'm saying Trip.
Araceli?
It's too early to tell.
Getting too early.
I know. I don't know if I can. I'm with Araceli. I don't know if I can. I would want.
It kind of also depends on who actually stays in town.
Do you have favorites? Do you have a top 2? Do you have a top 3? Is there someone that you're rooting for? Is there an order system you want to do?
I'm team.
Carson can be my top 1.
I'm team Wendy. Go get your job.
I'm team Wendy. Go get your job. I would be team. Not Team Carson. Johnny. Team Johnny. John. Just to get him out of like the Chanel alley story and give him kind of his own, take him out of that. Because that just keeps coming up and it's like, okay, it's kind of tired right now. And I'm glad that they have Carson / Johnny in the mix with this other storyline, even though like he's being sloppy with his sleuthing.
And that's where I'm kind of stuck, where I'm like, it's too early. I feel like nobody's had time to figure themselves out because Wendy is up here. She's a cool chick. She's a smart chick. And guess what? She's a chick who knows what she does and doesn't want. She's not going to be like all of these women that we've talked about who have bored me to tears, twice her age, who don't have their shit together yet. I don't know what they want. She's like, no, I know what I want. If you can't give it to me, bye.
I think my top 2 would be, it would go to Trip first and then Johnny. I think Joey would be a great like cuddle session. And it's like, that was fun. And then just kind of leave him alone. But my top would be Trip and Johnny. As of right now. until Theo comes in.
God.
And then I'll be Team Kim Possible featuring Wendy and Theo. Not saying that Theo is coming back into Salem. Lord Jesus, I just realized I said until Theo comes in, and all of a sudden people, Theo's coming back. No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying hypothetically.
Hypothetically, we're speaking in hypotheticals.
Yeah. But she knows what she's doing. I love how she just like kissed them both. She was like looking at them like, all right, y'all can go. There's that moment of like, we gonna lock these lips, and she's like, ugh, bye.
I know, and then she was like, go.
Yeah.
They were like, oh, okay. I was like, wow, blood just left their brains. Jeez.
Another song that would be great for Wendy is Babyface's Whip Appeal. Cause you got that whip appeal. Work it on me. Keep on working on me. Oh, okay. All right. And then last but not least, we kind of talked about it. Xander, Jack, Gwen. Just lay your head on my pillow. When she woke up and she was like,
that was such a cute scene, though. I thought was Jack. Yeah. Jack and her. It was very teenage, like we were getting teenage.
Teenage. Listen, let me tell you something. The multitude of people my pillow has been. I haven't kissed my pillow like that, but I have a body pillow that sometimes I lay on, and I'm like,
I'm right there with you. I know, not a body pillow.
Yeah, listen.
And this is where I'm gonna warn people, guys. Be careful when you start cohabitating with people. Be careful.
Why?
They're gonna be the first people to tell you. You know that you do this in your sleep, right?
Oh gosh. Who knows what I do?
Like, who's Xander? Who's Xander? Why are you holding on to that body pillow?
Who is Xander? And why are you hugging that pillow so tight? I was sad that Xander's now trying to get his life together. He's trying to find a job, and he was really banking on working at the Spectator. And Jack was like, "Nope, that's gonna go to Gwen. No hard feelings, right?"
I know. I thought that's what the setup was going to be. I thought it was going to be them to, workplace, sort of getting back to maybe softening towards Gwen a little bit. Yeah. Which I feel like he kind of did a little bit. Even when he was talking about Gwen this time, he said the vitriol is gone, I feel, when he was saying something like, oh, I don't want to be with her, but he says something like, I still care about her or something like that, where it was like, oh, okay. Like usually in the past, it's been Gwen did this to me, Gwen did that, So I feel like the hatred, but the vitriol is sort of gone from what he thinks of her.
I like that someone that stayed at the Salem Inn for like 3 years is actually being.
I know they're still keeping this plot line going. I know.
Yeah. He was like, "Oh, I guess you don't offer a payment plan, do it?" No, okay, yeah.
I would like for someone to. You know what? Hello, Dishin Days fans. I would like you guys to tweet us how much you think Xander's Salem Inn bill is and what it would include. Not only hotel charges, but are there
incidentals,
movies, room service? If it's room service, what do you think he ordered? Like, I want a detailed tweet of what you think.
You basically want his bill.
Yeah.
His book of a bill.
Like if I was Jeremiah at the Salem Inn and I was like, "Oh, Mr. Cook, are you checking out now? One moment, please." Now, first of all, that bill will look like a CVS receipt, so it'll take some time to print out. And then once it's printed out, what do you see on it? Tweet us at Dishin Days on Twitter and let us know what you think that bill is.
I will say I was surprised about the whole thing about we're going to grovel to stay with Victor and Maggie to move back in the house, but not for a job. I thought that was a little strange.
Yeah,
I think even Xander doesn't want to go that far.
Yeah.
It's like
I
I've been
like that
there,
they
I've done
addressed, like, they're like, wait, Maggie was like, wait, why can't you afford an apartment again? Like, someone finally addressed it. Like, aren't you a doctor? Like, don't you make it?
Yeah, a doctor who's been out of work for the past few years and is still on probation. What kind of salary do you think I'm making?
Right.
I think she can afford an apartment, a one-bedroom apartment.
She can afford a nice, modest one bedroom in Salem,
rents in
USA.
Salem, like everywhere else, must be high. So
Inflation.
She already done had her, sis. All right. Well, that's it. That was the week of days. And now it is time for our favorite part of the show, which are our segments. And we're going to start with mine, which is Tonti's official 3 Snaps Award.
Oh, snap!
Okay, so listen, before we post the yeah. Sometimes there's a thing called karma. And we are always in situations where we look at people and we're like, oh gosh, I wish karma would get you. Well, this week, karma did. In the form of Trip. So, Trip is karma. Karma was dealt out to EJ. And Lee Shin was the person who wished that karma. So my 3 Snaps Award goes to Karma. Because she played a big deal in this little scene right here and made Lee Shin and Trip very happy. So, my 3 Snaps Award goes to Miss Karma because she's a bitch. Oh, snap.
Oh, snap!
And if anybody wants to make a video of that on repeat to Taylor Swift's new song Karma, I'd very much appreciate it.
All these requests we got. And now
Taylor
it's time.
Swift pay you, Araceli.
Michael Mattis is very much
Universal Music sending you a check for all that.
Look, when you write a line like "Karma is a kitty that purrs in my lap because it loves me."
Have you realized that none of us have probably heard the album, so therefore we have no idea what song or what you're talking about?
I'm giving you homework.
Not me. If it ain't a Beyonce album, honey, I'll catch it on the flip.
I barely get the episodes. I mean, don't give me a song.
Say what?
I said you're like, I barely get the episodes in time. Don't give me a song.
Don't give me more homework.
Okay. But let me give you this homework. It is now time for
Caption that.
This week's Caption That Photo comes courtesy of Kristen watching Chloe and Brady smooch in the hospital. And this week's caption, which I don't have a lower third for, sorry, goes to Tai9200 Tyler Najir on Instagram with his caption, "My leftovers watching me order more takeout."
not the leftovers watching more takeout.
Mm-hmm. Kristen's the leftovers.
Yeah.
Chloe and Brady are the takeout.
Hold on.
The more takeout.
Before you
Are you making
it,
one?
there you go.
Oh,
Look
nice.
at that. There you go, Tai, you won, Tai. And that has been
Leftovers watching me order more takeout. That has been
Caption that.
And now it's time for
Those were the days.
And this week we have a double one of those days. First, I'm starting with October 19th, 1984, where Roman and Marlena welcomed twins Sammy and Eric. And then October 21st, 1993, where we got Isabella Belle Brady. And I labeled this the Brady burst because you remember when Belle was first born, she was a Brady. She was thought to be Roman's daughter and not John's. And then you see, of course, John helped deliver her. And also Kristen helped. You see her in the background there. But yeah.
it's that middle photo.
Which one?
The middle photo of her, like, what's going on, guys?
Yeah, this week we had some Brady births, Sammy and Eric, and then Belle's birth. October 19th, 1984, and October 21st, 1993.
nice.
Those were the days.
But you know what's interesting though? Like if they were born in 84 and 93,
I know it's you have to.
but I kind of believe like they're around the ages
It's
that
not too much of a Saurus, yeah.
yeah.
No.
Yeah, it's about right. Okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And now it's time for
It's a gift.
And this week's It's a Gift goes to Gwen and her pillow.
mm, mm.
Oh,
Oh,
and
where's
think I
Xander?
I don't
Let's
think
see
I
it again. Dum, ticka, dum, round,
The mouse.
Should I leave you two alone?
I know. Oh, Jack. That's when you turn around and walk out the door. You don't stay.
Yep.
And,
It's like-
like interrupting something. Yeah, slink in. Like,
Well, it's more like
back.
it's more like I would have walked in and been like, "What you doing?
oh no.
Who are you thinking about?
you
What
pervert.
happened?" And that was,
It's a gift.
and now it is time for. Oh. News and gossip.
Yes. First, we are starting off with Trevor Donovan, one of our favorites, who's currently on Dancing with the Stars. They did a theme nighter that they do sometimes. That one was titled, it was the latest episode, Most Memorable Year. And Trevor sort of divulged that his most memorable year was 2009, where he was cast on Days of Our Lives as Jeremy Horton, and sort of let it spill that he was soon fired after because of he used to have panic attacks before filming, and that's why we got sort of a short stint of Jeremy Horton. He wasn't up to doing the role and was having these weird sort of panic attacks while before
He said he
filming.
would freeze.
Yeah, and they related it to Dancing with the Stars because he's sort of going through the same thing there, where dancing is so far out of his comfort zone that this is such a big challenge for him. So he that's the sort of the connection there. He related back to his time on Days, and yeah, he said it really messed him up for a while. He didn't work for a few years before he eventually got 90210, ironically with Freddie Smith, where he was paired with. But yeah,
Mhm.
so yeah. So
What
check out Trevor Donovan. He's still on the show. He's been lasting week after week. So check him out on the new season of Dancing with the Stars.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
found that because I'm watching
Interesting.
Dancing with the Stars, and I found it very interesting and also a little heartbreaking too. That like
Yeah.
as an actor, like you audition, you hope, you pray, and then you finally land something. And it was a 3-year contract
Yeah.
that he
Yep.
got. And he was like, I just would get on camera and I would just freeze. And so they fired me. And I was like, he got fired?
Mhm. I remember because they brought him and
Marcus Patrick?
Jet.
mhm.
Mhm.
Jet.
I think we know when Marcus Patrick got fired, but
Tell me later. I don't remember. Oh, got it. Yes. Okay. I do remember. Yeah. Okay.
but yeah, I was surprised that like because I didn't think
Yeah.
it didn't come across off screen that Trevor had any issues, and then both of them
No.
were dropped like after 6 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah,
All right.
but look at him
moving
now.
on.
Mhm.
Next up, we have one of our favorites, Miss Jen Lilly. She has ushered in some new merch. Also, her Christmas University, which is help to help your favorite Christmas movie stars fundraise. You know, she does a lot of amazing charity work for kids. And you can go to christmasisnotcanceled.com for tickets and information. One of the things you can sort of bid on or raffle on is a spot on the celebrity game night, photo ops, and VIP tickets to Christmas Con. So all tickets and information go to Christmas is Not Canceled. And the charities that she works tirelessly for are, as usual, Toys for Tots, Child Help, and Project Orphans. And these two picks are some of the merch that you can actually buy. Really cute stuff for Christmas is Not Canceled / Christmas University. So yeah, go check it out. Buy some merch, participate in the giveaways, or just donate. She works tirelessly all the time. Tony, you know, of course, and does a lot for kids and their well-being. And so if you want to go support, please do.
So here's some inside information. I will be hosting a couple of her game nights and events. One being this Thursday with all of your favorite Hallmark stars But everyone, tune in, mark it on your calendars, write this down now. November 17th is a Days of Our Lives celebrity game night. And some of the people who are participating are, of course, Jen Lilly, I believe Billy Flynn, Allison Sweeney, among others from Days of Our Lives, will be featured on November 17th. So make sure you guys go to christmasisnotcanceled.com. Go ahead and buy your tickets for November 17th for the Days of Our Lives celebrity game night. You don't want to miss it.
Nice. Yeah.
I was trying to look up really quick who else, because she did a video not too long ago, but she did it in her story. I don't know if it's in her what's that thing called, reels. But yeah, I don't think it is. But yeah, the Days one is going to be on November 17th. I do know that for sure.
Nice.
Yeah.
Cool. Last but not least, we have a new date that opened up for one of our favorite bands, the Day Players. Yes, this one is taking place here in Los Angeles at the Peppermint Club, Sunday, November 13th. Tickets and information, go to thedayplayersband.com, and you never know who you're going to see if you're there that day.
You're going to see everybody. You're going to see us. You're going to see them. You're going to see some other folks. So if you are in the Los Angeles areas, come on down. We're going. We already got tickets. We got tickets first day. We was like, ping, ping, boom. We're going to get them. We got the cheap tickets because we're cheap. But however, you can get a VIP experience and meet them. We don't need to meet them. We just want to hear them sing. Oh, is that it?
Yep.
And that has been news and gossip. What's next?
The preview for next week.
Oh, okay. Is as if I have never hosted the show before. All right, ladies and gentlemen, here's what's coming up this week on Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera, Days of Our Lives.
What are you afraid of?
Duh. It's counterfeit money.
So where do you want me?
Yay! So exciting!
Can't believe you hired this jackass.
You're going to be living here with us.
Your fiance brainwashed Stefan. It was his idea.
Days of Our Lives, streaming on Peacock.
Here's the thing: I can't tell what's real and what's the Halloween show.
What's Halloween? Yeah.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, I think it was a mix. I don't think it was all Halloween.
It
I think
seems all real though. Like not like fantasy, and we're not getting dead bodies coming out of the graves like we did last year. So.
Oh, that was still a good episode.
We also don't have a devil in Salem this year.
Yeah, it's just Halloween. It's just the usual shenanigans.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it's real, and then we're gonna get Gabi like staging a wedding. You know, like a you know, like a gotcha bitch at the wedding.
Yeah.
Like Sammy did with EJ and Abigail.
Yeah,
that's always fun. I always enjoy that.
That could be interesting.
Like a little like.
Yeah, scheming Gabi.
I'm gonna make him think he's getting what he wants. Anyway.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, that has been Dishin Days for this week. We hope you come back next Sunday for another full dish of next week's episodes of Peacock's exclusive #1 award-winning hit soap opera Days of Our Lives. But before we head out, Michael Mattis, tell the kind folks where they can find you on the social medias.
You can find me on Instagram and Twitter at MLMattis.
Now, our next two Gaggle of Gals, you can only find them exclusively on certain social media platforms. Justin Lee Hareld, what exclusive social media platform have you chosen for people to find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Justin Lee Hareld.
And Araceli, where can they find you exclusively on the social media webs?
You can find me exclusively on Twitter at Tia323 Araceli.
And you can find me, all of us, me, on also, I messed up on that, Michael Mattis, my apologies. You can find me on all social media platforms, YouTube, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram at Lounging with Tony. And of course, you can find us on all social media platforms. We are Dishin Days Show. This is where you're supposed to change it, Michael Madness. Oh, you got Bimby.
Distracted.
Hold on. There you go. You can find all of us, Dishin Days Show on Facebook, Dishin Days on Instagram, and Dishin Days on Twitter. And make sure you head over to ML Matters 1 so you can find pictures of Bimby.
Just
Hi,
ML
Bimby.
Mattis now, no one.
Oh, that's right. Well, ML Matters.
We took out the underscore. I took out the one.
Hey.
Bimby.
Bimby.
Look at them.
Bimby. Hi, Bimby.
Yeah.
Bimby. Hello,
He's
Bimby.
my good boy.
Bimby's like, I'm ready to eat and go walk. All right. So we'll let that go happen. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. As always, we'll see you next Sunday for another full dish of Peacock's Days of Our Lives. Until then, have a wonderful week. Enjoy yourself. And let's get ready for Halloween. Buy your Possessed t-shirt now on dishindays.threadless.com. Bye, everybody.
Bye.